Yeah, the longshoreman strike, I guess we didn't get a chance to, go over our lines, rehearse and practice. That was honestly the line I heard from an MSNBC commentator as to why Kamala Harris should have another debate, but really shouldn't worry about doing pressers and so forth. I don't think you get a chance to rehearse your lines and practice for hurricanes like Helene. I don't think you get a chance to practice your lines for a walk out of the longshoreman, which is going to cost America $4.5 billion today, tomorrow, and the next day, according to J.P. Morgan. Grover Norquist joins me, Americans for Tax Reform. He's the president there. Grover, nice to see you today.
Good to be with you.
All right, here's your October surprise, two of them really. Hurricane Helene, which, by the way, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have not shown up for. Donald Trump was right there talking to people, getting a hold of Elon Musk, asking for help with Starlink. You've got a walkout that affects 36 ports from Maine to Texas. First time since 1977, they've all gone on strike at the same time. Pretty clearly, this is going to disrupt supply chains, leave some shelves empty of certain products, and drive prices higher. And the Democrats have done this to themselves. This is bad news for inflation and for supplies and for the American people, isn't it?
Well, and the nature of the strike is they oppose new technologies that would make everything less expensive. It's not just that they want more pay themselves. They want to maintain old technologies, not the new technologies that third world countries employ now. The United States is way behind on ports. Israel, New Zealand redid their ports a while ago. I mean, there's a real challenge. This union is fighting against progress, not for higher cash. You get paid more if you're more effective, efficient.
Yeah, they were actually offered a 50% pay hike, I'm told, in the last 36 hours, which they turned down, and other incentives. But here's the other thing. Joe Biden could stop this right now with the Taft-Hartley Act. He doesn't want to because he's in a tough spot. He's already lost the Teamsters. The UAW rank and file says, we want nothing to do with this president or with Kamala Harris. So the unions have already fled. If he goes against this union, he'll lose whatever union support he has left. So here's his choice. Irritate the unions, and Kamala Harris irritate the unions and lose that vote, which would affect an all the way down ticket, or punish the American people. I guess it's choose the latter and punish the American people. Those are the choices, and that's the choice that's been made from where I sit. Right or wrong?
He's already lost a lot of the voters who are members of unions. Remember, only about 5% of people in unions today ever voted to join that union. What happened is they got a job with a company that was already unionized, a port that was already unionized. They never had a choice. 5% of Americans who are in unions chose to be there. So we're not talking about numbers here of voters. We're talking about the cash that the unions take from workers. And that money is going to keep going to the president as long as he does everything they want him to, no matter how damaging to the economy or to workers.
This is what we call an October surprise. Should have been no surprise at all. But here we are. It'll be on the. I would expect that both of these items that we've just covered, the hurricane. Look, and you've got 2 million people without power still today. You've got 50 different search and rescue teams out there. You've got a death toll that's almost 150. You've got towns that were literally washed away downriver and into the lake downstream that are just gone. And Joe Biden has not shown up. Kamala Harris has not shown up. And I'm going to guess this is all on the table for J.D. Vance and Tim Walz tonight. And Tim Walz should be the clear favorite here. He's been in politics for 20 years, a member of Congress, a governor. And yet, Grover, I think that it's going to be J.D. Vance's night to shine, because what is Tim Walz going to, what's he going to defend? Inflation? Supply line problems? Open borders? The ongoing war in Ukraine, where they just got another $8 billion this week, and yet the people in North Carolina are told, oh, you've got enough. Joe Biden said this yesterday, you've got enough. The American people need to pitch in more. We did pitch in with taxes, a lot of them, didn't we?
It's worse than this for Walz. If the vice presidential candidate on the Republican side actually focuses on Walz's history and what he's done as governor, this should be a knockout blow. He doesn't even have to blame him with anything that Kamala Harris and Biden do and wish to do. He has made his own mess. He set up, during COVID, a snitch hotline where people were to call in and rat on their neighbors. A couple of the calls One of the people called in and said they saw a neighbor hugging somebody. Another found people playing basketball. Some of them were seen going to church. Some went to a dog park. People called in and said somebody went and bought chips and soda at the store. That's not a necessity, and they wanted to call and let the governor know that. When people said perhaps we should get rid of it, the governor said it's for your own good. He set up a little police state with snitches calling in when people do dangerous things, like going to their cabin in the woods, playing frisbee, engaging in outdoor exercise. Like, these are real life call-ins to report. The Stasi wants to report their neighbor misbehaving. Then he inherited a $17 billion surplus when he became governor. He spent it all in a year. And decided to raise taxes because that wasn't enough.
Can you imagine trying to run on a record? I blew all the money, and now people have to pay their fare. I blew all the money, not just some of it, not half of it, all of it, and then demands people pay more. Grover, I'll give you the last word here because you're exactly right. You put that on the table, you don't even have to go to Biden and Harris. Go ahead.
He taxed kayaks and paddle boards. You cannot take a paddleboard onto the lake without paying. He doubled the tax on boats between 17 and 19 feet, and doubled the tax between boats under 17 feet. On and on and on. These are attacks on middle-income people. This is not, he likes to say that rich or somebody's going to pay for this. He was having blown through $17 billion on top of their already bloated budget. He went right after people's ability to simply spend the weekend with their kids.
Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, and we're going to tax every single watercraft we can find as far as the eye can see. You got it, Grover. Grover Norquist. That's terrible. Not a good position in Minnesota. Anyhow, sir, thank you.
Cap and trade. He voted for cap and trade, and he's proud of it. Add that.
Yeah, add that. What a disaster. Grover, thank you as always, my friend.
You got it.
All right.